All right, what is going on, everyone? We are back. We are back. We are back again. Let's get this week started off right with some MMA talk, and I'm here for it all. We had a great weekend of fights, and we're gonna talk about it and talk about a few other things to get things going, man. I'm just here excited about everything, and sorry about my tardiness here, but I'm here, and I was having issues getting hooked up here, but looks like I'm hooked up here. Hopefully, it's going good. I was trying to do a little too much this morning, and I was ended up catching forward, trying to find my phone and cutting grass early. I was like, all right, but we're here, ready to talk about all things MMA. We're just chilling here, getting things together as these few shows I'm doing here are all pretty much like a test for me to see how everything goes. I am here now. I'm on my laptop here and seeing how this looks and everything. And if it looks good and it's not lagging and everything, we'll be good to go because even though this thing picks up every single thing around, other than that, we're good. There was some great action over the weekend. We got to talk about that flyweight title fight, man. Woo! I didn't see that. I saw it coming, but I didn't think he was gonna be that great at beating up Benavidez. It was something, man. All right, we're here. We're gonna talk about it, man. Let's get into these fights over this past weekend. Uh oh, sorry about that. I had to check to make sure everything was still good on my end, and it looks like it is. All right, well, everyone out there, hopefully. All right, I got that, and now I can get. All right, let's get into this thing. The main event, UFC. Woo! UFC Figueiredo versus Benavidez 2 obviously was Deiveson Figueiredo versus Joseph Benavidez. Figueiredo did his thing, submitting Joseph in the first round, man. And it was a heartbreaking one because, we've all known Joseph Benavidez's story for years. I mean, he had the first title fight in the UFC flyweight division going against Mighty Mouse. He wasn't able to get the job done there. He had another crack at Mighty Mouse, was not able to get it done there as well. And then keep having to build himself back up. He actually has a victory over Henry Cejudo. He also was able to keep building and building. Finally get that title shot the first time against the first Figueiredo fight, and looked good in that fight until he didn't. And he lost it, but between the headbutt and the missing rate, he was able to get another rematch. And all right, is Deiveson Figueiredo going to be a dominant champion, or do you believe the division is still up in the air? That division is weird in general. I'm also somebody who's not convinced that Cejudo doesn't come back. I do think he will eventually come back, and we'll see what happens in that 125 division with that. He's a beast, man. He looked good. Benavidez is still somebody who can beat a lot of fighters. He's that gatekeeper type of fighter. He still beat a lot of them. I don't see anybody at 125 right now beating him for a while. I think he's going to have a nice little run with this belt, because that division is not the strongest in the UFC. It is trying to get better. I hate that they no longer have Sergio Pettis. I wish they would have re-signed him and everything, but who's fighting this weekend, by the way, for Bellator. I think he's going to have a nice little run with it, unless they bring in more people. Figueiredo's going to have a nice little run with that title. And it's to the point, I'm not even sure who's next. Maybe a Formiga would get a title shot, a name, someone like that. We'll see what happens in that division, because that division still really up in the air. But yeah, that main event, man, Joseph, and this one was okay. He straight up lost this one. No, well, this happened this way, this happened. Nah, he just straight up lost it. And he was not going to, it looks like he's never going to become the champion in the UFC. And I know the UFC hated that. I know the UFC hate the fact that Benavidez is not the champion. Because can't you see it now? Benavidez and Megan O'Leary going on all these talk shows before his fights, trying to hype up the cards. Oh, man, they wanted that so bad to have one of their own be the champion. And you know that they hate that. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Figueiredo. He's not going to obviously main event a pay-per-view. He's probably going to be co-main pay-per-views and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with him, and see what happens with next both fighters, because I'm not sure what's next with either one of these fighters at this point. This was, especially with Benavidez, how he lost. It's kind of like, I know you don't want to retire, but it may be that time for you to retire, in my opinion. Now, moving on to the co-main event, I was talking about people retiring. This is somebody who don't need to retire. Jack Hermansson. Woo! Another submission. Round 1, minute 18 to Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin is just on the slide right now. Kelvin just can't get things together, man. He's obviously a really good fighter, but he, lost Adesanya, and he's also lost to Darren Till. So it's like he's on, and now he's on that 3-fight losing streak. He's gonna have to take some time and just inhale and figure out what's gonna be next for him. Now, I would say this about Kelvin. In my opinion, with Kelvin could okay. Okay, there you go. If Kelvin can get his weight together, I wouldn't mind seeing Kelvin try to go back down to 170, man. Why not? Why not go down to 170? Give yourself a better chance getting close to the title because he's on this skid and he has to figure out something, man. And maybe him changing weight and actually taking that diet serious and making 170 without missing it. This could be what he needs. Because he can compete at 185, but to see him at 170, that would be good for him. And for Jack, he looking good, man. He is not done. He is doing his thing. I know people were a little down on him following getting beat by Jared Cannonier, but he was able to bounce back from that. Now he's back in the game. Now he's not going to be next in line for the title shot. That's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. I know that's just not going to happen. What I figure, in my opinion, what's going to happen, I think Hermansson is going to go against the winner of Till versus Whittaker. The winner of Till versus Whittaker is going to be the person that Jack Hermansson goes against next, in my opinion. That's how all these fights, or he could do the loser as well, and I think his stock still would be good because as we pretty much, Dana White kind of feuded a little bit. We know we're going to get Izzy and Paulo Costa for the middleweight title. And when that happens, then we're also going to have Till versus Whittaker. I don't think you rebook Adesanya and Whittaker this fast. I think how bad that main event went for Whittaker, I think Whittaker may need 2 more victories. So if Whittaker wins, then we could see him versus Hermansson for the title. And then something else happens, and we see what happens in that division. I also could see if Till wins, Till would get that next shot because there's no reason for him not to get it. He beat Kelvin, and that would be an interesting fight. The winner of Adesanya Costa going against Darren Till. So that could happen. Hermansson could sneak in here and beat his next fight before the title, but I think he's probably, in all likelihood, 2 fights away from getting a title shot at this point. And then we got to still see what happened to Jared Cannonier. He's still in that picture as well. So, interesting things at 185 right now. Then you also have Yoel Romero still out there looking for a fight. So, there's plenty of options out there in this division. So, it's a fun time to be at 185. Okay. We had Cannonier versus Costa is my dream fight at middleweight. I mean, it's a fight that you have to believe that's going to happen eventually because they're both near the top of the division, and it could very much happen. I don't think it's going to be for a title. I know Jack Hermansson said that he believes that Costa is going to beat Israel Adesanya. I absolutely do not believe that. I believe this is an easy fight to win here. I think Izzy's going to come out and show Costa that he's not on his level, in my humble opinion. But I believe a Cannonier Costa fight could very much happen. If probably not this year, next year. So you definitely would have to believe that those two guys will be fighting in the next 12 to 18 months. Yeah, we had Raphael Fiziev beat Mark. He won his fight there. I'm sorry, I be butchering these people's names. I'm from the country, y'all. Ron Lipinski, flyweight. I'm excited about this fighter. I really like her. She got the submission victory. She's a nasty girl. I just love watching her fight. And another notable fight, we saw Joe Duffy lose as well. But yeah, it's a lot of good things going on right now in these divisions. That was a little bit of a recap of the fight. Now, we talked about this last week, and I got to talk about it again because Dana White has spoken about it a little bit more. And the more and more as it seems, we ain't going to get Aljamain Sterling's not going to get this title shot. And it's just so frustrating. He is not going to get this title shot. All right, the question was JDS versus Rosenstruck. See, I guess the reason why they booked this fight is because of if something happens in the main event for the heavyweight division, they can pull up one of these guys in there. I'm guessing that's the reason. I have to study that fight a little bit more to really give them who I think. But if I just do on the top of my head, I would probably go on Rosenstruck. Even though I thought I heard this rumor that JDS wanted to go to 205. If he could make 205, I would be really interested in seeing that. But other than that, I really have no interest in seeing JDS at heavyweight. But Rosenstruck, he's going to probably get the victory. Don't hold me to that one. I would have to do some, as the fight gets a little bit closer and it's coming up, I'm going to have to do some more research into that one. That's a good one to think about. Now, I don't know if I really truly like that as a co-main event. I mean, coming off of what you had with Masvidal versus Usman, even though that particular fight wasn't that great, just the build up in that card overall was really deep. And this fight card, to me, it's seen its better days, to say the least. That's being polite. We're gonna keep it polite there. I just don't see it, but it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting fight. They're gonna be slugging it out, so that ought to be fun. Like what I was saying about Aljamain, Dana White comments, it does not seem as though he's going to get this title shot. They're going to give this shot to, like I said last week, they're going to give this shot to Marlon Moraes. And Marlon Moraes is going to get that next title shot. Aljamain doing everything he can to get this title shot. He's still calling out Peter Yan, saying he hasn't really fought anybody yet. He's fought big names, but because he had victories over Aljo and also has a victory over Uriah Faber. And in the history of this sport, those are two huge names to have victories over. Now, in 2020, 2019, 2020, are those two guys really at the top of their game anymore? No, but they're still big names, and that's still something that you can market. So, Do I believe both DC and Stipe retire no matter what happens? I haven't really heard anything about Stipe retiring. I mean, we know DC is. DC has said this countless times that it was going to be his last fight, and he's not going to come back. And Stipe, I think this is what I think happens at heavyweight. We're going to get DC versus Stipe. I predict DC to get the victory. Title becomes vacant. Then they book a rematch. We see what happens in this rematch. They're going to do the rematch. Francis Ngannou versus Stipe Miocic. That's going to be for the heavyweight title. To me, that's the next fight. It's going to be Ngannou versus Stipe. Either way it goes, unless they can pull things together with John Jones and get him a heavyweight title shot against Ngannou or maybe even a Stipe. That's the only thing I can see. Other than that, I think we're pretty much going to be set in stone. If Stipe wins or loses, I think we're going to get Stipe versus Ngannou for the heavyweight title in 2021. But I think DC is going to get the victory. I think DC this time is going to. What I said Usman did last week. He's going to Russell, stand up a little bit, only to get back to wrestling. I think that's what's going to happen in that fight. But we shall see. But yeah, that's going to be. I'll tell you what's interesting. We are mostly talking UFC. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier with see if I'm pulling this up here. I can actually okay. So we are going to have some more action this coming up week. We got Bellator coming back. And this card, to be honest, I mean, I know they got Aaron Pico. He's going to be fighting against a jobber, so he should get the victory in that. And we have, we got Sergio Pettis going against Ricky Banderas. I want to say that's his name. So that ought to be interesting to see. Sergio. Okay. Question is, does Sean O'Malley main event a card this year? Now, remember, O'Malley is going to be on coming up pay-per-view, the DC Stipe pay-per-view. He's going to be fighting that one. So, and that's going to be August. So, when you say main event, are you saying main event pay-per-view or main event a fight night? Because those are two very different things. Because O'Malley's to the point now where he could main event a fight night. That all depends on who they want to hype up to do that. But anybody can pretty much do that. That's for UFC hypes behind them. But he is getting there. I mean, this fight he's got coming up going to be another. I don't want to say tune-up fight, but this is going to be a fight to feature him at all of his skills. That's going to get him to be able to do. They keep moving up because the UFC figures that they have a star in him. And they're going to do everything they can to hype him up, try to take him. And they're going to try to take him as slow as a fight night. It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised because he's fought a few times this year. I wouldn't be surprised if this is his last fight of the year. But if he does fight again this coming up year, I definitely think he would be the main event of a fight night. How do you feel about the rise of Edmund? I ain't gonna be butchering people's names. Like I said, I'm from the country. Shows me shades of Saint Pierre. I would hold off on the shades of GSP, but I get what you're saying. He's coming, man. He's definitely coming. Let's check and see that he have anything coming up. Because at this rate, how the UFC be booking stuff, you won't even know if somebody has and he does have something coming up. Okay, he's going against Derek Brunson. That's going to be a good test for him. Brunson is someone who has a lot of talent. Sometimes he's not able to put two and two together, but he has a lot of talent. I'm curious to see how he looks in this one. I mean, he, in theory, should beat him, but Edmund has been looking great. I think this is the fight to me. We'll see if this guy has what it takes to potentially be a future champion, or is he still going to be, someone on the rise? And even if he loses this fight, he still has a ton of potential because he's still so young. He's still only 22. So the sky's the limit with him. I can see this guy. I say this, and it's crazy to think, give this guy 3 to 5 years, it's going to be hard for anybody to touch him the rate that he's progressing. So that's a good sign for him. And I'm really looking forward to see him versus Brunson in the co-main event of Holly Holm going against Ariel Helwani, who is one of my favorite fighters, period. So that should be interesting as well. All right. Who's the best rising prospect you see at any weight? Now, here's the question. Would you put Sean O'Malley in that? Because if you put Sean O'Malley in that, to me, because of everything that he got going on, I have to pick him. But you can already tell with him, though, I don't know if you want to count him or not, because you can already tell that the UFC kind of already has their hype machine with him. So I think somebody that I like. How old? How old is this girl? Before I say this, because I'm not sure she would be, that she would qualify in this or not. She's 26. To me, a star in the making. We saw her last weekend, man. Amanda Ribas at 26. I just think she's a star. So, even though those guys have both are still pretty young in the game, but I would go with Ribas for the women. I just think she has future champion written all over her. I really love her game. And I would have to go with O'Malley, even though I think Sean O'Malley is kind of an easy choice. I would have to do a little bit more research to find a different answer right now. What's a good return fight for TJ Dillashaw? So it's funny you ask that, because I was thinking about this earlier today when I was late coming getting it started. I was like, I randomly started thinking about Dillashaw because I was like, I did something. I saw something about Cejudo, and I thought about that fight, and I was like, man, Dillashaw's coming back soon. Dillashaw is really close to being able to come back on the suspension, and that's a good question. What do you do? Because he's not going to give him a title shot. Obviously not. Turn fight for Dillashaw. I'm gonna have to think about this for a second. Actually, I'm gonna go through the rankings real fast to see who that I think would make sense at this moment. Because we still have, that division still has some things to take care of before TJ comes back. I know he's saying that he wants a title shot when he comes back, but I definitely don't see them giving TJ a title shot when he first comes back. You can't come back on suspension and then pop in and get a title shot. Sorry it's taking me so long to pull these rankings up. Everything wants to go. All right, so you said Dillashaw versus Sandhagen. I don't think they do that. All right, I finally got everything looked up. We're just gonna go through the top 10 real fast here. In the top 10, we have Rob Font, I don't see them making that fight, even though it would be a tune-up fight for Dillashaw. Cody Stamen, no. Jimmy Rivera. At this point in Jimmy Rivera's career, I would say no. Rafael Sunsao. Dillashaw already beat. Jose Aldo at number 6. Now, I'm a big component of I want to see Aldo versus Cruz. I think that fight makes a lot of sense. If you want to bring Dillashaw back with a bang, because Aldo's not going to get a title shot. Uh-oh. That's weird. Anyway, Dillashaw versus O'Malley. I don't think they do that with O'Malley. I think that's a huge step up in competition for O'Malley. I don't think they quite do that with him yet. That's a fight that eventually should happen, but I don't think that happens yet. And they're going to save, continue to bring O'Malley along slow. I wouldn't be mad at it. To me, once you look into this top 5, and a lot of this, I believe, is going to depend on how these title fights and everything happen. If, let's see, it's still July now. And I don't believe that Aljamain Sterling is going to get a title shot, even though he deserves it. I think they're going to do Young versus Moraes. And then so I'm looking at these rankings. And I know they wouldn't do this because it would be killing off a contender. But I could almost see them be like, hey, TJ, you want to fight Cody again? You want to get the title shot? I could see them booking something like that. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think his return will be against either 4 guys, depending on how the title picture goes. He's going to either be fighting Jan, Marlon Moraes, Aljo, or Corey Sandhagen, like you said. I think the Sandhagen one would be more of the tune-up, provide ready to get him going back. Is a good fighter, give him a chance to beat him, or even they could potentially throw Pedro Munoz in that. I just think they're not going to reward him with an immediate rematch. Getting his belt back. I think they're going to make him fight one. I wouldn't be surprised if they do 2 times, to be honest, with the victory. But good versus evil, Dillashaw O'Malley. I think something eventually going to happen. But if I have to look at everything, I don't mind Dillashaw versus Sandhagen. I think that one makes some sense. Because I don't think you want to give him the top guys at this moment. So the Sandhagen one would make a lot of sense for him. What's next for Charles Oliveira? He's not getting Poirier, Ferguson, or Hooker. Does he have something booked? I thought I saw Charles Oliveira's name pop up with a fight coming up soon. and maybe he does not have one. I'm not sure why I thought he had a. I don't know why I thought he had a fight booked. Yeah, looking at these fights, he's ranked 6, Hooker's ranked 5. I mean, the type of fights that Dan Hooker has is not really what Charles Oliveira has. But if that division is tough to think about right now, if you look at it, as we know, clearly we're going to get Habib and Gaethje. After that, it's like, what's next? Because so many of these guys fought each other, and if you're Dustin Poirier, what do? You obviously want Justin Gaethje to get a victory. Because that makes his case getting a shot even better. Oliveira versus Ferguson would be really intriguing on the ground. I would like to see that. I could see I could actually see them booking. It depends on what. I actually think they're gonna book Ferguson Poirier. It's the fight I think they're gonna make. So, and that if they book that, McGregor's not gonna fight him. Then you have at 5 Dan Hooker, Oliveira. Actually, I think that's the fight. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. You can do that stylistic matchup, Hooker versus Oliveira. I think it would be very entertaining to see what happens in that fight. So I think that's who I'm gonna go with. That was a really good one. That one kind of stunned me. Cause I could have sworn I thought Oliveira had a fight already booked, but apparently he does not. It's fun looking at these rankings and trying to figure out what fight makes sense for each fighter. Okay. Another MMA news talking about, I guess we have to talk about it, even though I think this fight will eventually happen. This fight really needs to happen. We need to eventually see Tyron Woodley versus Kobe Covington. That fight has to happen. All this bad blood they've had for this long period of time, it needs to happen. Covington has passed on this fight so many times. Now all of a sudden he wants to fight. Now T Wood's like, wait a minute, you done passed on the fight so many times, and now because you want to fight, I'm supposed to just do the date you want? Nah, fam, it don't work like that. You know, and I don't blame Woodley. I would take. I think T Wood needs to take a few more months off, especially that fast turnaround they kind of want him to do. We're taking this fight like in August. He needs to take some time off, relax, get focused, and see what's going to be next for him in his career. But all right, man. We're about 45 minutes into this. It's been I don't see GSP coming back. And if GSP does come back, it's not going to be for a title. UFC not dumb enough to go through that again with him. And I don't think he fights Kamaru Usman. I don't think he fights Usman for the exact same reason he was never going to fight Tyron Woodley when he was the champion. Tough fighters, not a huge name. You don't really gain anything from beating them, but you lose a lot if you lose. GSP going to a different weight, something going against a Habib would be extremely interesting, even at this age. So I could see him wanting to go against a Habib, but I don't think GSP is coming back. Period. If he did, I would pick Habib in that situation. Yeah, that's who I would go with. I think GSP, because at this point with GSP, what does he have left to prove? He came back. Personally, I don't necessarily know how much I want to see GSP fight, because I never forget it was the day before the UFC 209 in Las Vegas a couple years ago. I was there in attendance. The press conference him and Michael Bisping had, and the way GSP kept talking about stock, I don't think like a Usman stock helps GSP. Depending on what happened with Habib and Justin Gaethje, the Habib stock could help. But if we view the UFC, do we have this man come back and fight these guys and potentially beat them and then leave again? So what can we do with that? I don't think GSP's coming back. But yeah, man, thanks for tuning in. You tuned in last week. It's been great. And I'm gonna keep because I'm having to find new things to do with my channel, because a big thing that I used to do was like wild and out videos. And now with everything happened with Nick Cannon this past week, I can't do those anymore. I'm gonna do one last one tomorrow. Hmm. Um. Let's look at these rankings again. Maybe we won't look at the rankings. Let's see. What's next for Calvin Cater? Let's look at these. Look at these rankings here. It didn't take long for me to find a fight that I would be really excited about. I'm not sure if he has anything booked already. Doesn't look like it. Man, let me tell you something. If they can book Calvin Cater going again, oh crap, I lost it. Why this ain't does that? If they can book a Calvin Cater versus Yair Rodriguez matchup, sign me up for that. I think that's gonna be excitement, and that could be really good. Now, if you're the UFC, but I could see he's not getting a title shot next. I could see Zabit getting that next. It's like, what do you do with Holloway? Holloway's not. You can't give Holloway a third fight. I wish they would, but you have to let that division breathe a little bit. I can see Holloway versus Cater fight being really fun to see. That would be good. That could an exciting fight for the fans. So that's something to look out for. So that I kind of like this. Well, we may turn, because I think I'm gonna keep doing this on Mondays, either between, my time, Central Time, noon or 11:45. Started there until whenever. I may do this. We may turn this into a basically like who you got. Like we like pick fights and like who you think will win in this, or what do you think coming up next? If there is like a big event happening, we may do things like this for this channel here. Because I'm trying to always come up with ideas here, and I think that'd be fine to do here. Now, I'm also gonna be back on. Probably start doing. I'm gonna try it out for maybe a week or two, coming on 11 o'clock at night Central Time, and doing like a late night show as well. See how that goes. Hopefully you can tune in for that. During the week, that'll be fun. I'm just coming back with as much content as I can now, and trying to figure out what I can do to take this thing to the next level. Thank you for coming back. My time is pretty much up here. I have to get some things together because normally I don't work on Mondays, but I'm having to work this week, so I'm having to cut things short. If not, I probably would stay on even a little bit more longer and just talk about different things. But let me know, do you think this is a good time? Doing it at 12 my time, or maybe doing it 15 minutes, starting at 15 minutes earlier than that? Do you think it's a good time? Because my goal with this is to catch the people who watch Morning Comeback with Luke Thomas after that show is over, and they still ready to talk MMA and just just have good conversations. Catch those people and be on, and we can chit chat, whatever, and then stay on until it's about time for Ariel and DC show to come on. So that's kind of what I want to be, that middle ground person to get you still in that MMA bubble, ready and excited for fights. Try to be in between there and that lane to get people, and we just discussion, let's have fun. We're not going to take it too serious, be laid back and have a lot of fun with it. That's really my main goal with this. And may come out with a couple of edited videos as well, and see what happens with that, as I'm going to continue to do everything I can to grow this channel and do everything. And if you have any comments or what you want me to do, let me know, and I will do it. If you have a fighter that you want me to look into and do a breakdown of what I think the next 2 to 3 fights for this type guy is going to be, and what this person needs to do to potentially get a title shot, let me know. I can do that as well, and let that be a separate videos. And I think about how that path to the title and we come up with a guy. I stay on, and I might do it. I'm not sure when I drop it, but you give me a guy, and I'm gonna make a video this week. I'm gonna do a little bit of research. Yeah, they do be consistent, which is the reason why I even started this. But I was like, I kind of like doing it. I know they own now, but I don't care. They do be real inconsistent. I know a lot of that probably has to do with DC training for his fight against Stipe, which I'm surprised he's still even doing this show at this point. All right, man. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back, and I'm still doing everything, and I will see you all next week. Or I'm gonna drop another MMA related video this week as well. Talk to you all later.